Hello everyone and welcome to this presentation. I am Mr. Chauke, the primary lecturer for the module code TMS3720. The aim of this presentation is to give you feedback of assignment 1 and 2 for TMS3720 and the guidelines for the October-November examination. Thank you to all those students who completed and submitted assignment number 1 and 2. Most of you did an excellent job of answering the questions, and we enjoyed marking them. In this presentation, I will give you feedback on assignment questions which some of the students experienced challenges answering. Let us look at the assignment question. Question 1. This question contained 3 sections. First, you had to choose an appropriate reading passage for grade 9 learners. Next, you had to discuss the requirements that the teacher should consider when selecting a reading text for grade 7 to 9 learners. Discuss 3 approaches that you would use to teach reading for senior phase learners, and to explain how you would encourage or motivate your grade 8 learners to read independently. Question 1.2. The requirements that the teacher should consider when selecting a reading text for grades 7 to 9. For the answer to this question, please see Learning Unit 6, Section 6.6 of your study guide. Discuss 3 approaches, in brackets, pre-reading, while reading, and post-reading, that you would use to teach reading to senior phase learners. In this question, you were required to discuss pre-reading, while reading, and post-reading activities that you would use to teach reading to senior phase learners. For the answer to this question, please see page 137 to 138 of your TMS 3720 study guide. How would you encourage or motivate your learners to read independently? For this answer to this question, please see page 168 of your TMS 3720 study guide. Question 2.1. Hugo 2016 states that pre-listening activities activate the prior knowledge of the learner. By referring to the passage you have pasted in 1.1, explain 2 pre-reading activities that you would use to activate the learner's prior knowledge. Please refer to Unit 6 and the CAPS document for the answer to this question. Choose any poem you intend to teach that is suitable for grade 9 learners and paste it in your assignment. Describe in detail how you will teach the poem to your learners by using each of the following phases for teaching poetry: pre-reading, while reading, post or after reading. To answer this question, Combrix gives us guidelines of how poems should be analyzed. You should have referred to Combrix phases of analyzing the poem. You could have divided those stages into 3 phases, that is the pre-reading, during reading, and after reading, and explain what you will be doing with the learners during each of those phases. For example, in phase 1, that is preparing to read the text, and it is B for reading activity. You could explain unfamiliar vocabulary. Make an attempt to find a point of contact with the learner's prior knowledge. Phase 2, that's reading the text for the first time. Let the learners predict what the poem might be about. Read the poem to the learners before they see the text. Divide the learners into groups to allow them an opportunity to read the poem aloud. During while reading, for example, that is phase 3, the opportunity for individual response. The learners now get an opportunity to read, to respond individually in writing. They write their feelings about the poem. That is what the poem reminds them of, and what they did not understand, and so on. Assignment 2. Question 1. Discuss the writing process. The writing process is not linear. That is, one does not prepare to write, then write the first draft, and then revise it to produce a final copy. The writing process is a more complex process that involves feedback and rewriting at each stage. Also, one may have to backtrack and repeat part of the process or amend an earlier attempt. The new material will then have to be integrated, and this will force the learners to redraft until the final piece is produced. The writing process involves the following steps: planning or pre-writing, drafting, revising, editing, proofreading, and presenting. Explain how you would take your learners through the above process when writing a descriptive essay. For this question, you should have referred to writing a descriptive essay or explaining to learners how to write a descriptive essay using the steps mentioned in question 1.1. If you did this, then you generally did very well. However, there were many students who did not mention the words descriptive essay and proceeded to provide a very general discussion on the processed approach to writing. If you did this, you were not awarded any marks because you merely repeated the answer for question 1.1 in question 1.2. Question 1.3. Discuss 2 ways in which you teach spelling to grade 7 learners. The ways of making spelling interesting to the grade 7 learners are the catcall method, that is copy, apply, tier, color, another left there. Look, close, write, and check. And the last one is make learning spelling again. Please see Unit 9, page 259 of your TMS3720 study guide. Question 2. Discuss the following approaches: the integrative approach and the characteristics of communicative approach to teaching of a language as set out in the curriculum and assessment policy statement for grades 7 to 9 and in your study guide. You must also refer to your own experience of teaching practice by providing practical examples of how these approaches are used to teach a language. The integrative approach to language teaching. This approach gives a true language environment to learners to develop listening, speaking, reading, and writing skills in a meaningful way. Learners should use the language in the classroom to listen, speak, read or view written language, and to write language. In this approach, language structures and conventions are taught in context. To teach the four language skills effectively, authentic text, such as current newspaper or magazine articles, advertisement, pamphlets, stories, radio programs, should be used as the basis for learning activities. Texts from a range of different genres and modes, such as oral, written, or multimedia text, should be used and can be linked through themes. The characteristic of the communicative approach to teaching a language is learner-centered, focuses on communication and meaning, focuses on fluency, avoids unnecessary memorization. Language is always based on context. It aims to facilitate communication. Drilling is used occasionally. The home language is used intelligently. It aims to promote communication competence. This brings me to the end of my presentation. Pertaining to the October-November examination, you will write the October-November examination starting from 15 September to 15 September 2021 to 18 September 2021. In other words, this is a 3-day or 72-hour examination. Please upload your answer sheet 2 hours before the portal closes. The examination of question paper for both the October-November examination and the February or supplementary examination each consists of 3 questions. Every question is made up of sub-questions that count 50 marks. You will answer 2 questions. The questions will be similar to the questions posed in the assignments. I repeat, they will be similar but not identical. Part of the examination paper is based on caps. Please ensure that you know sections 2 and 3 of the caps document very well. You might, for example, be expected to discuss the different approaches and to explain which the best approach would be to follow when teaching a language. You may also be required to explain what types of activities should be incorporated during the pre-phase, the actual teaching of the specific skill, and the post-phase of teaching listening, reading, speaking, and writing. Ensure that you are able to discuss what the listening, reading, writing, and speaking process entail in terms of the gaps. You do not have to know the length of the text or how much time should be spent on the teaching of each skill. Further information pertaining to the examination will be communicated to you on the module site on my UNISA. Good luck.